Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Maria Goncalves podcast. I am your host, Maria Goncalves, and today we have a special guest. We have Marta the Medium. So, welcome, Marta.
Hello, Maria. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited you're here. I'm always curious, where are you based?
I'm based in Scotland, in Edinburgh.
Okay, beautiful. And for those that are curious, where's Maria from? Just outside Toronto, Canada. But I love the magic of the internet because we can connect with anybody anywhere in the world. So I'm going to let you guys know a little bit about Marta for today. So, as a child, Marta was visited by the loving presence of her great grandmother, a connection to the spirit world that at times left her confused and afraid. And she was told it was just her imagination, and she buried those experiences for years. But Spirit had other plans. It wasn't until adulthood that Marta embraced the truth. Her encounters weren't dreams, they were gifts, a calling. And once she said yes to her path as a psychic medium, the right mentors appeared, including Mary Ann DeMarco, Pat Longo, and Pam Meredith. I know Pam Meredith. I sat in her circles. She's so cool. And she's from the Journey Within, correct?
Yes, that's where I sat in a development circle.
Yes.
Yes.
And guiding her to trust her intuition and refine her connection with spirit. Marta's training spans sacred spaces like the Journey Within Spiritualists, National Union Church in New Jersey, and the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle Center in Edinburgh. Oh, that is so cool. I've never heard of that one. That sounds amazing. She studied with world-renowned teachers like Janet Nohavec and John Holland, and she's a proud member of Kyle Gray's Angel Team, deepening her bond with angelic realms. Today, Marta connects with clients with their loved ones, angels, and guides, offering messages of love, healing, and clarity. She's also a gifted angel card reader, transformative guide, helping people rediscover their purpose and step into meaningful change. So, whether you're seeking connection, healing, or a deeper understanding of your spiritual journey, you're in the right path. And also know that Marta also has a podcast called Perfectly Imperfect Spiritual Podcast, and she has a retreat coming up, which I'm super excited about. What is the name of the retreat?
How to be a psychic medium, a virtual retreat for spiritual seekers.
And when does that retreat start?
It starts next Thursday, so May 22nd, and it's a 5-day retreat.
So if people want to join the retreat, how do they do that?
Mhm. They can go to tinyurl.com/how to be a psychic medium, or they can find me on Instagram at Marta the Medium, and the link is in my bio.
And then they just sign up there.
And
Okay.
they can sign up, and then they're going to have access to all of the replays. But I'm going to be streaming those interviews as well on my Instagram and YouTube. But if you enroll to this platform, you are getting lots of free conference content, including beautiful journal, meditation, and everything is organized. So I would encourage highly, because you can treat that experience as something sacred.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. I'm so excited because I am one of the speakers for your
Yes.
retreat. And so I'm so excited about that. And I am super excited to be able to share that with everybody. So tell me about your experience as a child. So your great grandmother, you had like a visitation with her? What was that
Yes.
like?
Yeah. So I didn't know it was my great grandmother, but every night, I was around 4 or 5 years old. Every night I would see a shadow of a woman. She resembled Baba Yaga from Slavic folk tale. She had a headscarf, and I was petrified of her. And I would basically cover myself with a duvet. I would face the um basically other side to not really look at her, but she would keep reappearing. And it wasn't until I was a teenager when I found out that my great grandmother, she died in the attic of this building. So when I was a child, I would basically feel her pulling my soul out of my body and taking me to the attic. And there was nothing to be scared of. She just wanted to pass a message and she wanted to get to know me. But as a child, I didn't know, no one normalized, no one spoke about it.
Oh, wow. And then did you continue to have those experiences as you grew up?
Yeah, well, tracing back, I had some of those experiences, but because of what happened when I was a child, well, when I was going through those, I was told nightmares by my parents. I started shutting down those abilities. And I remember clearly I was so petrified of my great grandmother, and I had a conversation with the ladies from nursery because my father shouted at me and he didn't allow me to have the light on. And there was so much activity in my room. There were so many other people from the spirit world. And finally, they had a conversation with my parents and they allowed me to have the light on. And that really um, eased that anxiety because at least I was able to figure out who was there. I had various experiences.
Yeah.
I didn't shut completely, but of course, I didn't grow up in a household where there were any conversations about psychic mediums, about the possibility of communicating with your loved ones, angels, guides. So it's that awareness came later on when I realized actually that I was a psychic medium. So yeah.
So how old were you when you got into, I'm just curious, uh, to study mediumship?
It started only when I was going through a divorce. I was in a very abusive relationship. And at that moment, I started again, I started to hear my grandmother in the spirit world. And it was a very, very challenging 4 years. And I remember getting ready for one of the court cases, and I felt very, very low, very depressed. And then my grandmother started speaking to me, and I didn't question, I just knew it was her. And then somehow I intuitively spoke with my spirit guides. I didn't know they were spirit guides, with my spirit team. And then I told them, okay, if this is real, or I didn't question, I knew it was real, like bring me the right teachers because I need to know what to do with that. And this is how my path opened up.
So I noticed that you have a chain with an angel and you studied with Kyle Gray. And I love that because I actually also signed up with Kyle Gray in 2017 because I was looking for meditations online just to calm down and find peace. And I couldn't find anything around here. So where did your love for angels come from?
Mm. I started being aware of angels when I started sitting in various development groups
Yeah,
in the places where I was not able to channel angels. Because those, well, some of you might be aware that when you attend development classes with different spiritualist churches, you can only bring a loved one in the spirit world. You're not allowed to communicate with angels or bring the information forward. And this was that realization when I realized, oh, something's missing. I think I've learned whatever I had to learn from
yeah,
those places, but I started looking, I set an intention, okay, bring me the other teacher because they're those angels.
yeah.
And I want to learn them. I want to be able to channel them. And then this is how I bumped into Kyle Gray's angel team. And then I know I've always had a relationship with angels because since I was a child, I would speak with my guardian angel. I just thought everyone did it. And then I was saved from a car accident by an angel, but then back then I didn't know it was an angel. So I feel I've always been protected by angels.
Yeah.
Um, yes, it happened to open up organically. I think I was meant to be working with angels, and they started communicating with me and they started encouraging me to include them in my readings. And also, they really wanted to be part of my life as well.
So I am curious because you said they saved you from a car accident. Can you share that story with us?
Yes, yes, of course. So I was in my early 20s and I
Yeah.
was driving a car. when I heard a voice saying, "Slow down, you're going to have a car accident." And I had no idea who spoke to me, but basically I listened to that. And 10 seconds, 20 seconds later, there was that woman speeding and she just bashed into my car. And nothing happened to both of us, only our cars were damaged. And it was later on when I started, when I already knew I was a psychic medium, where my guardian angel told me, "Oh, it wasn't your time. It was me who protected you."
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You know what? I always hear stories like that where people will hear a voice and it's like, put on the brakes, or shift the lane, and it saves them. So, I don't know. I find those are like miracle stories. And I love angels, as you can see, have an angel
Hmm.
too. My cousin gave that to me when I was in the hospital. But I have so many angels, and growing up, we always had angels in the home. Did you have angels in your house like growing up?
No,
No.
no. I just had my guardian angel. No figurines of angels at home. No.
So I'm curious, like your background, like your belief system, like are you Catholic, atheist, or
Hmm. I grew up in a Roman Catholic household.
yeah,
But my family was not particularly religious. It was my own choice when I was a child that I decided that I wanted to go to church and I attended masses because there was something magical there, the energy, and this was an opportunity for me to communicate with God, angels, and I could sense the presence of my loved ones. Because this is what I remember that whenever a particular loved one crossed over,
yeah,
my family would say, "Oh, he, she, they can see you." But they didn't believe it. It was only a saying, but I knew it was true because I would continue speaking with those people. So I guess where I come from, I'm originally from Poland. It is a country where Roman Catholic Church plays, or at least used to play an important role. So I was exposed to that.
yeah,
So this was the belief system, but it came organically. I don't know, I was just like drawn to it. But also I realized as a child that there was so much energy that I wasn't able to get accustomed to because I would faint when being inside the church. And
yeah.
I had to really participate in masses when standing um, outside or very close to the entrance door. And now I understand why, because there were so many people in the spirit world and angels and God.
Do you have a favorite angel?
My guardian angel, like standing next to me, like, come on, like, come on, like, that's an obvious choice. And this is how I speak with my spirit guides and my angel as well, as if they were my friends, because they really are. So, my guardian angel. But then, of course, I love to work with all of the archangels and other angels as well, because there's an angel for every single emotion. Anything that you need, you will be able to have an angel for that.
Yeah,
I've worked with various archangels depending on the what I really needed. But what I find fascinating is that, well, it's beautiful when you allow the angels to come forward to you without you choosing one. So I've
yeah.
been learning to get to know them based on their vibration. And whenever I just needed some support, I would just call in angels, archangels. And this is how one by one I started getting accustomed to those energies. So of course I do love working with Archangel Michael. He's an integral part of my day-to-day ritual of cutting the cords, removing anything that doesn't serve me. Archangel Sandalphon for grounding and delivering messages to heaven, but Archangel Zadkiel for transformation when I was going through so much difficulties in my life. Archangel Gabriel when I was learning how to speak my truth. I could keep on going. Archangel Raphael for healing. So yeah, I can't choose one. They're all beautiful.
I do love the angel. I remember the first time I saw an angel, I was so taken back. I was going for a healing and I had to use the washroom, and on the way back, there was just this giant angel because like I see you, so very 3D in this beautiful blue gown. I find angels are big. Do you find they're big? Like, how did you
Some of
see
them.
angels? Is it more
Well,
than sensing,
yeah,
or how do
well,
they?
I see them in my third eye. So this was the boundary that I had to establish with the spirit work I wanted. Because when I started developing as a psychic medium, I would see spirit with my naked eye. And this was completely out of my comfort zone. And then I set that boundary that I'm only okay to see spirit in my third eye.
Yeah,
So this is how I see angels, but it's more the feeling. I feel their presence. And this is what I teach my students as well. Like it's so beautiful to be able to be aware
yeah,
with whom you're connecting, because you will know that there's a difference in energy when you bring your loved one. There's a difference in energy when you communicate with your spirit guides. And then angels, they have that, I can't even find the right word. It's that fluffy, uplifting, heartwarming energy. It's just so much different. So I feel their presence, but I see them in my third eye as well.
I love that you said the vibration, because then that allows people, I feel, um, that you don't have to actually see them like clairvoyantly, that there are different ways to sense your angels in it. And I thought that was so beautiful how you said that. Um, I am curious because like one of your mentors was Pat Longo. Is that Teresa Caputo's mentor, Pat?
Yes.
It's the
Yeah.
same one. And when you went for her, was it training for healing or training with mediumship?
So actually, I was guided to her initially, but she never responded to my email. And this is how I ended up studying with Marianne DiMarco. And after a year's time, then my spirit guides told me, okay, you can send an email to Pat now. Uh, and then she started mentoring me. And I am a healer as well, so we've been working on that. But for the time being, I've been choosing to heal through my words, and
Yeah,
it's an integral part of my readings. So I don't offer separately healing sessions, but I know I'm a healer.
yeah,
Uh, I just don't question the teachers that are put on my path because I've been setting those clear intentions, bring me the right teachers.
yeah.
So I know she's been the right teacher helping me, especially with my anxiety, because the way I sense spirit, or especially I sense people's passing, the medical conditions.
Yeah.
So they would use the clairsentience, and it was very, very, very intense. So she has helped me a lot to harness that energy, but she also helped me so much with my personal life and other types of anxieties that I had.
So with training with her, because she's in the US, is that online? I'm just curious. Or is that in
Yes.
person?
So mo no, online. So most of my teachers, they've been in the US, and it's funny because like 95% of my clients, they are in the US, Canada. Well, you just don't question things. But yes, this is because of the internet, because of uh yes, what we are able to do.
I like that. I will say for myself, a lot of my mentors are online too. They are online. So if they come to Canada and I get to see them, like anything is here in Canada now. So it's such a treat when you get to train in person. But definitely, I love that there is no borders on the internet, that you can train anywhere in the world. So I am curious for people that are starting out and they're brand new to mediumship, what would you recommend they do first? Because there is so much out there.
Those who are already aware that they are mediums or are
Yeah.
still questioning whether they are mediums.
They're aware, they know they can connect to spirit. Uh, well, I guess too, you would be like, am I a medium? Am I not? But I'm having mediumistic experiences. I want to go explore. How do I begin?
Mm.
There's
I
so
would definitely find a mentor, but I also feel that being part of a development class is so important because then you can share your experiences, and then you can hear other people's experiences. So I would say get yourself a mentor and trust your intuition.
Yeah.
Don't rely on the recommendation. Go for the person that you don't know why, but you're feeling drawn to.
Yeah.
And then use your discernment because you are going to learn various things from various teachers, and then you can move on and you can have various people who are going to be able to expand your awareness and expand your ability to connect with the spirit world. But the first step, trust your intuition, set an intention with the spirit world to bring you the right teachers, and yes, start your mentorship and develop, practice communicating with the spirit world.
I like that. So for yourself, like over the years as you're studying mediumship and other modalities, do you have a favorite one or are they all your favorite?
I don't have one particular one. I love to blend them. I love those readings when I'm able to allow the spirit world to decide what is it that the client that I'm reading for needs to hear.
Yeah.
But of course, most of my clients, they've been coming through word of mouth for me to be able to connect with their loved ones in
Yeah.
the spirit world. This is how it all started. But then a couple of years ago, I started doing past life readings. And it just happened one day when my spirit guides told me, you're going to be doing past lives now. And I'm like, I don't know how to do past lives. No, 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 we are going to tell you, we know it. You are just channel, clear vessel. Uh, and you will not believe, or I'm sure you will, that the following day, two of my friends contacted me independently and they asked me, could you do a past life for us? And I'm like, oh, come on. And this is how it started. So I just trust my spirit guides. They bring various modalities that they want me to explore. And my role is just to trust and know that if they're suggesting something, this is what they want me to incorporate into my practice. But of course, I love working with angels. I love working with spirit guides. And because I have such a beautiful relationship with my spirit guides, they do not stop talking. So, like, you have to be very careful. Like, if you want me to help you develop the same relationship with your spirit guide, they might not stop giving you guidance. But I think it's the most beautiful relationship that you can have. And once you realize that you're never on your own and
Yeah.
there's so much support available,
Yes.
your life changes. So I love working and teaching people to communicate with their guides and angels as well. So I love everything.
So I am wondering because you speak so passionately about connecting with your guides and with your angels. So for those people that are out there and they're like, I know I have guides, I don't really know what to do. How do you connect? Like a word of advice for people that are like so desperate to connect to their or wanting to connect with their guides, but they have no clue how to even start. What would you suggest?
Mm, definitely relax, set an intention that you're to have fun with that.
Yeah.
And don't set so much expectation that you need to know the name of your guide or you need to see them or maybe that you need to hear them because there's so much expectation that people put. And the minute well, I would just set an intention and it's enough. Spirit guides, angels, I would love to meet you and then leave it to the spirit world to for them to decide how they want to introduce themselves to you. Of course, well, I started with the guided meditations,
Yeah.
but then I didn't know who were my spirit guides back then. I had a relationship with angels, and because of my upbringing, the like angels were known to me, but I was scared of getting to know my spirit guides because I had no idea what those energies were.
Yeah.
So I would also tell anyone that once you set an intention that you communicate with the white energy, with those who walk in the white light of God, I want you to know that you're safe, you can trust, and you can go into that meditation and then just relax and allow the spirit guides, if it's spirit guides that you want to communicate, to appear. Maybe you'll feel them because you don't, maybe you'll hear them, maybe you'll see them, but every single spirit guide is different the way we are different as human beings. So just start. the way you're being intuitively drawn to. You might sit in the garden and if you like journaling, you can do automatic writing and you can ask, who is my spirit guide? Who are you? And then like start writing. So whatever you're being drawn to, whatever it is within your comfort zone, I wouldn't force myself to explore something
Yeah.
that you're not enjoying as the first way of getting to know your spirit team.
I like that. I like that, how you said that. I also like how you mentioned the name is not important because I do find I remember in the beginning of my journey, it would drive me bonkers. It would be my friends would be like, "Well, what's your name? What names do you have? And what kind of spirit guides?" It was almost like we're playing cards and seeing who has the bigger spirit guide. It's like, "Oh, I
Mm.
monk. Mine's more special than yours." Like, I don't know if you ever had that experience. I remember I had that and I was just like, I don't know, I just know they're here. But I remember in the beginning of my development and the people that were around me, it's quite funny now looking back, but there was like a competitiveness with spirit guides. I don't know, have you ever seen that like in the beginning of your
Hmm. Yes,
development? Quite
I
interesting.
definitely experienced or I witnessed people who considered themselves to be better because they, for instance, knew the names of their guides, or because they thought that their guides were of a higher vibration or they were more evolved spirit as well. So,
It's weird.
uh, well, we are psychic mediums, we are light workers, but we have to remember that we are human beings as well. So ego will be present during those classes, during an interaction with other people. So
It's
yes.
interesting. So I do want to let our listeners and viewers know that if you're on this journey and you don't know the name of your guide, it's okay because they don't need a name. They don't care about name. That's a human thing. We need that name. And if you need to know, do I have a monk? Is it a nurse? Is it like what is it? What's their background? That too is not important. That's like us. Like our human mind needs to know that. And I feel too, if it's needs to be revealed, it does get revealed in time. So please be patient. Just like Martha said, which I love, is get to know the vibration, get to know them and talk to them
Mm.
daily and connect with them. Um, and then I am super curious, within your own mediumship or within the healing. Are there any stories that you would like to share of things that happened to you that you're like, oh, I don't know about that, but interesting stories?
That would make me be even more into psychic mediumship, something that would make me believe in even more that I'm not completely crazy, uh, to justify like my what I do. Uh, well, every single reading that I do for clients, like they're like so there's so much validation from the spirit world. But if I was to choose something that has happened in terms of my personal life, it's the communication with my own mother. So my mom crossed over in 2022
Yeah.
and I helped her to transition. I didn't see her for 4 years. Uh, and then I remember 2 weeks before she crossed over, she came in telepathy to me and she impressed me with a picture just after she gave birth to me and she held me in her arms and she basically explained how much she loved me. And it was very, very emotional and it was very real. And my mom was very scared to cross over because she was very emotionally and not only abusive towards me. And we had a beautiful 2 weeks of forgiving each other. And I forgave as well because I really wanted to release her from any ties, any connections. And also, I reassured her that her loved ones, because I could see, well, our loved ones by her bedside would be greeting her. And she didn't want to cross over initially, because I was going back then through a complicated divorce, and she was very concerned where my children and I would live, because back then we were selling our matrimonial property, and I didn't know. I went through a phase of homelessness, and I ended up being unemployed because I had to prioritize my own like well-being, and I had two dependent children. And the spirit world told me, oh no, just trust it. We're going to get you a house. So I told my mom, it's okay, you can go.
Yeah.
Uh, and she crossed over. So first of all, I want to say to anyone that you do not have to be physically present when your loved ones cross over, that this telepathic communication is possible. That's one thing. But the other thing is that my mom was not able to be the mother she wanted to be in this lifetime. This makes me so emotional. But on the other side, once she went through a very complicated life review and she wasn't able to communicate for the first 2, 3 months with me because she had to feel the pain she caused to me,
Mhm.
she learned her lessons, and now she is part of my day-to-day life. She protects my children. We have coffee in the garden. She interferes with my playlists. She was a fan of Tina Turner, so whenever I'm upset, or sometimes I ask her, like, Mom, like, just give me a sign that you're here. Then I bump into Tina Turner songs. So we have that beautiful connection now. So I just want to say to anyone that sometimes it's not possible to have a relationship with someone here on earth, but you can still have a relationship with your loved ones, should you choose to, because there is a free will
Mhm.
on the other side, because our loved ones, they aren't here in a physical form, but the energy, the connection from heart to heart with our loved ones, it cannot be broken. So know that you can always, it's never too late for you to have a relationship with your loved one, should you choose to have.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So because I know you talk to your mom every day, do you have visitation dreams? Have you had one of those with her?
Yes, yes. This is when I don't listen to her. This is when I don't listen to her because she knows that we're very receptive. That includes any psychic medium, that when we are asleep. So she has not been able to protect me when she was alive here. And she has taken the role of my protector on the other side. So she doesn't come often, but whenever she wants to protect me from someone, whenever there is someone dishonest, someone doing something not the right way, she comes and she makes sure that I know about it. And those dreams are very, very detailed,
Yeah.
and so spot on. Yes, so she uses dreams as well. She uses various ways. And it was 2 weeks ago, I think, that I laughed with my other teacher, Lara Wells, who's part of the retreat as well. We were doing a live, and then Lara kept saying, oh, Margaret, something about Margaret. And that's my mom's name. So I've been ignoring my mom because she's been talking about a particular subject that I didn't want to hear about.
Yeah.
My mom still has the same personality. Like you will know that our loved ones are on the other side, but they'll have the same personality. She's persistent. So during this live, I got a message from her. Just after I finished that live, three other people independently texted me. One friend, oh, your mom is in my studio. My friend is a seamstress. Like there's a butterfly, I have to like give you a message. Then two other friends of mine who are mediums, they told me, your mom's there, like we have to give you a message. And the other friend, she's a medium in the US, she told me, what's the emergency? I can't sleep, your mom's there. So yes, sometimes it's worth to uh, allocate 5, 10 minutes a week and listen to your loved ones.
Oh, I love that. I know after my dad passed away that week, that very first week or two, he went to all my medium friends. They kept messaging me, "Your dad."
Mhm.
But I could feel my dad because my dad passed away October 31st at 11 in the morning, 11:11, eh? So now when I see the clock,
Mm.
it's like, wow, it was 11:11. And then that evening when I went to sleep, I had a visitation dream.
Mm.
just letting me know he was okay. And every day for 2 weeks, people would be like, and your dad's messaging me, I have to give you a message. So I love that our loved ones do that for us on the other side, that they are so eager to talk to us, right?
Yes.
It's just, it's such a beautiful thing. So for those that are listening, have a cup of coffee with your loved ones, invite them into your space, just like Marta does with her mom, which I think is so beautiful. Maybe people never even thought that they could do that. So here's another question I have for you. So you're not a medium. Let's pretend we're not mediums. And
Mhm.
can you still have a cup of coffee with your loved one and talk to them?
Course, of course. I truly believe, and this is what I love to do with every single client of mine. I love to equip my whether clients, students, with the tools that will allow them to establish or maybe deepen a relationship with their loved ones, spirit, guides, and angels. As I've mentioned, we all have, I truly believe, that heart-to-heart connection with our loved ones. And of course, not everyone is a medium, and I don't believe that anyone can connect with other people's loved ones. However, I do believe that each and everyone is able to connect with their own loved ones. So absolutely. And you do not need mediums to do it. You just need to have your mind and your heart opened and just start speaking to them. Ask for signs and symbols. And the minute you're going to be more aware of your surrounding, you are going to notice patterns or things that will make you remember about a particular loved one. So yes, anyone can do it.
I love that. So I hope this brings peace to those that are listening, thinking they have to be a medium to connect to their loved one. We all have access. I remember years ago studying with a shaman, and he used to call it heartstrings to your loved ones. And
Mm,
it was like, even if they pass away, that heartstring is still connected. It
it
never
is.
dies. It doesn't disappear. That energetic cord of love, that attachment, which I think is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. I wanted to talk about your podcast, Perfectly Imperfect Spiritual Podcast. What inspired you to start that podcast?
My spirit guides. They're laughing. My spirit guides are behind me being online. I've never had a need to be online. It was my spirit guides who, well, I call it spiritually blackmailed me to start my podcast and to be on Instagram. I was actually happy being offline. I relied on recommendations through word of mouth. I was fine.
Yeah,
Um, so basically, my the guidance from my spirit guides, it comes in waves. They know I'm an introvert and I need more time to adjust. So they've been expanding my comfort zone. Well, I
yeah,
want to say gradually, but like not really gradually, but whenever they had an idea of me, whenever there's something for my highest good and that they really want me to do, they share it with me and then they speak over and over again until I do it. So
oh,
this is how it happened with the podcast. I've never had an intention of having a podcast. And one day they told me, we want you to have a podcast because that will be a platform for us to be able to share anything that we would love. And also we want you to normalize that conversations that you are going to have with various guests. So they gave me the name of the podcast, and what I do in those moments when I receive guidance from my spirit team,
yeah,
I try first of all to not question, but I act very quickly so that my ego and my logical mind doesn't take over. So
yeah,
when I heard that I was to have a podcast, then I got in touch with a friend of mine, and within a couple of days, 2 days, we just recorded our first episode. This was an audio one. The
yeah,
podcast started with the audio episodes, and then during my interview with my mentor, Pat Longo, it was 5 minutes before I started recording. I thought it was going to be an audio one. And then they told me, no, 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 we're doing a video one. So I'm like, I'm not doing a video. I'm not going to be on a camera. Like, stop it. And then they blackmailed me and they told me, oh, no, no, you are going to do a video because if not, we are going to reveal the end of the film you're watching. And I'm like, that's so, that's not okay. So they use that sense of humor to really make me be on board. So that's how it started with, yeah, the podcast.
I love it. So I'm going to say this too. For myself, I always felt the nudge to do a podcast, but I was scared. Like, and it marinated, I think, like 2, 3 years where I was like, I really want to do it. And then I would forget about it. And then that thought would come in and be like, yeah, that feels like really lots of fun. And then I wouldn't do it. And then it kept
Mm.
coming and coming until the feeling got stronger. But the first few podcasts, there's no video. I was terrified that anybody would see my face. So so originally from your very first video, from your very first podcast, are they all videos or are they first audio and then you graduated to video?
They were first audio. I don't know how many audio, and then I had that interview with Pat, and then I started recording video. And it's at this moment, well, the minute I realized it's the same with the mediumship. The minute I realized this is nothing about me, and actually I don't really care how I look, I don't really care what other people are going to say about me.
Yeah.
It's about me being able to hear, well, to help other people. And also, I am truly excited about every single conversation that I have. And I'm like, if anyone else can get that excitement and can learn something, that my heart is just filled with so much joy, and I just feel so fulfilled. So yeah,
I love that. And then, so what is the intention behind the podcast so our listeners know?
the intention
Yeah.
to normalize any conversations about spirituality, about psychic mediumship. There are no taboos there. We talk about anything. I really trust my guides. They bring me the right people to the podcast.
Yeah.
And my podcast is very unscripted. In the past, when I first started, I would prepare myself, and now I just don't. The only thing that I ask my guests is I ask them to give me a short introduction, how they would love to be introduced. And of course, I include their links to any social media so people can follow them. But then I just really engage in a conversation. And then I allow the spirit team as well to ask questions. And I love that spontaneous nature of the podcast. It's also because I don't have technical skills and it doesn't bring me joy to edit anything. So I'm like, I can record, I can speak with people, but this is to my spirit team. Like, don't expect me to become an expert in anything technical. So I can record, upload, and move on to another episode. So that's how I operate. But I think it's about also the idea behind it is for people to realize that perfectionism doesn't exist
Yeah.
and you will never ever be ready. And when you have a nudge to do something, you should just do it. And you will always learn from it
Yeah.
and you will always expand. There's always a life experience from that. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And then I wanted to talk about your retreat that's coming up. So
Yes.
how did you get inspired to do that with your guide?
Uh, well, so my guides are very, very vocal, not only during my day-to-day life, but also during my mentorship sessions. And I'm being mentored by Abiola Abrams. He's part of that beautiful retreat as well. Like, she said yes to have a conversation with me. Um, Again, my spirit guides really wanted me to have a retreat. And Abiola was on board as well. She suggested it. And I had a minute of hesitation where all the limiting beliefs came. And I'm like, I'm not listening to that. Like, I am not listening. So the way I operate I felt that this is exciting. This is something I would love to do.
Yeah.
And basically, I had to come up quickly with a title that I'm like, that's okay. How to be a psychic medium? That's okay, because I'm a psychic medium. In the past, I would overcomplicate. I would ensure it was just perfect. I'm like, no, title. And then quickly, when I had that idea, well, the idea was that I wanted to bring spiritual teachers that operate with their heart space. This was my aim. So every single person that I invited to have a conversation with me is a very kind person, is a beautiful person at that soul level. This was so important for me. And then the idea is that I wanted for people who are new to spirituality, or maybe who are not new, there are also people who are psychic mediums, light workers as well, to be able to experience the magic that every single person, every single guest is going to be able to bring. But also, I truly believe we never stop learning.
Right.
So by participating in that retreat, that you can then expose yourself to various modalities. Yeah.
So I am curious if we could get a sneak peek behind for one of your speakers or one or two speakers you want to share just a tiny bit. And then, you know what, guys, you have to go over to her retreat, sign up, and go listen to everything else, but just a tiny little sneak peek.
Hey,
That's okay.
I want to do justice to everyone, so I'll mention a little bit. I will not remember everything, but like, of
Yes.
course. So we have Abiola Abrams, and I'm going to be doing a live interview with her, and she will speak on divine frequency, and this is the subject of her latest book, and she's going to introduce her new Face of Ocean Oracle, and it's a very powerful deck that invites users to connect with the Yoruba goddess Ocean. So there will be themes of love, beauty, transformation.
Yeah.
We have Karen Kay, so she's the fairy whisperer and author sharing magic from the fairy realm. We have Amy Lee Mercury. She's a medical intuitive, best-selling author and a teacher of, well, both feminine empowerment and atomic healing. We
Yeah.
have Madame Pamita. I'm doing a live interview with her as well. She's a Ukrainian American witch, spellcaster, and author of Magical Tarot, and she teaches folk magic and ancestral rituals. We have you, Maria Goncalves, psychic medium intuitive mentor. Well, I feel like helping others trust their sensitivity and spirit connection.
Yeah.
So I will definitely go and listen to this conversation. We have Sasa, who's also she's a clairvoyant spiritual artist and a medium, known for her 5D activations. We have George Lizos, who is a priest of the Hellenic ethnic religion and author of Ancient Manifestation Secrets.
Oh,
And this talk is interesting because he shares how Greek deities reflect universal laws. We
yeah.
have Dougal Fraser, color intuitive and co-creator of the, well, Angels and Auras Oracle deck, but he teaches how color is the language of the soul.
Oh,
We have
beautiful.
Graham Joseph Norton. He's a mystic and tarotist, and he gave a talk on Christ consciousness,
Oh,
but he also deals with the divine feminine. So and he's going to pull some cards as well. So that's very beautiful. Lara Wells, she's a national award-winning medium, mentor offering spiritual development. Her talks are always like full of joy as well, and she's very, very knowledgeable medium as well. Polly Finucane, she's an expert on subconscious mind. She's a subconscious mind coach, guiding others through energetic sovereignty, belief reprogramming, spiritual alignment. I'm doing a live interview with Ricky Van Brackle, transformative artist, divine channel, ancestral healer.
yeah.
And then we have Katie Serkone, who is an artist, yogi, ritualist, weaving hip hop yoga, sacred arts, mystical embodiment. And then we have Bibi Flores, Reiki master, intuitive healer, and energy artist. And we've got Janita de Souza, who is a somatic feminine arts mentor, blending Tantra and the wisdom of the dark feminine. And you have me, your host, guide, but also a psychic medium, angel card reader, spiritual mentor who's going to share a little bit about my own experiences and some of the practices. I hope I have not missed anyone, but
Oh
yes.
my goodness. I was, we got more than I asked for because I asked for a sneak peek and we got a little bit more, which is amazing. So I'm going to have the link up for you guys if you want to sign up to follow Marta, go to her website, check out the retreat. These all sound like such amazing, amazing speakers, healers, mediums, and most importantly, heart centered and here to be of service to humanity, which is so important. And we need more of that today, more love in the world, and just to change the frequency of the world to more love, which is so beautiful. So before we go, any last words of wisdom you would like to share with our viewers?
Keep your hearts open, trust your intuition, and enjoy communicating with your loved ones, angels, and guides. This is all real. And your loved ones, angels, and guides, they really want you to have fun. And I would encourage anyone to bring a component of joy and magic to your day-to-day experience, because I want you to know that you can grieve at the same time as experiencing joy and magic of that communication with the spirit world.
I love that. And I love that you said, this is real. This really is real. And on those words, I want to say thank you so much, Marta, for being with us. Thank you for everybody that tuned in and listened or watching to the video. And I will have all of Marta's social media and her website and the link to the virtual retreat, which is going to be awesome. So do not forget to sign up and wishing everybody an amazing day. All right. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. And thank you, Maria, for having me on. Bye.